The real truth about depression may not be what you think it is. So here's what you need to know. Let's talk about depression. Have you ever felt depressed before? I know I have at times, and there's been a couple of episodes in my life where I've gone at least through a few days of feeling really low, feeling really down. Maybe you have too. So most of us experience this feeling at some point in our lives. Some for longer, some people take medicines for it, drugs for that depression. Other people cope with it in different ways or get therapy, etc. We all have an understanding or an interpretation of what depression is, but sometimes there's a lot of myths around depression, and maybe you'll disagree with what I'm about to say. Maybe you know someone that is clinically depressed, or you've been clinically depressed, and you might disagree with what I'm about to say, because people who are clinically depressed, the problem is that the medical community will tell you that it's due to imbalances in the mind, imbalances in chemicals in the mind. Is that true? Yes and no. You see, any emotion is going to cause certain chemicals to be released and certain chemicals to be inhibited. Yeah, so if I get excited right now, woohoo, I'm getting a change in emotions, a change in chemicals. And right now, if I think of something sad right now, then again, I'm getting a change in emotions. But it's a little bit like the chicken and the egg. Is it the change of chemicals that's caused the depression, or is it the depression that's caused the change in chemicals? And therefore, if it's the depression that comes first, why are we trying to change the chemicals with drugs? Because the change in chemicals might be due to the depression, and the depression might be due to something else, not because of those change in chemicals. So the medical community often dish out these drugs left, right and centre to try and change those chemicals to make us feel good, to balance things out. But in the long run, often this can have a lot of negative effects, a lot of negative side effects. People become addicted to these things, etc., etc. Now, I am not going to tell you to stop taking the drugs or anything like that. I'm not going to do that, okay? You have to consult with your doctor and, seek the advice you need. All I'm saying is maybe you need to look at other aspects of that depression as well. You see, here's the thing about depression. We get depression when we feel like something should be different to what it is. We have expectations about how our life should be, how other people should be treating us, what the world should be like, how much success we should be having. And the reality is different to those expectations. That is why we feel low. That is why we feel down. It might be through fear about things. We're worried about things. It could be a negative spiral that also then leads us to depression. There's lots and lots of reasons for it, but there's also lots of ways to help with that as well. So sometimes when I'm working with depressed people, it might be because they've had certain situations in their life that they felt should have been different. It might be conversations they've had with other people that they felt that other person hasn't treated them well. It may be that they haven't achieved certain things, therefore they feel very low. They kind of think they should have achieved X, Y, Z and they haven't, so therefore they're depressed. They might be finding life hard. And what we do is to take them through a series of processes, depending upon the person, depending upon what the issue is, to balance that out. So that it's not just all about the negatives, that they can see some positives. They can see how those events in their life have actually helped them. Maybe they've hindered them in some ways, but I guarantee they've helped them as well. And once you can do that, once they do that, it helps to balance everything out and start to get rid of those depressive thoughts. We might have to look at some expectations. Maybe they've got certain expectations about where they should be, but they haven't taken the action towards that. Maybe we need to change those expectations or change the action that they're taking towards that. We can change, different things, looking at the habits. We look at their values, what's important to them. Because maybe they've got an expectation of where they should be, but in actual fact, where they feel they should be isn't actually important to them. So it might be a case of working out what their top values are and moving them in that direction so that they're taking action towards those values. So there's lots and lots of therapies out there and tools out there, and all of them can be great in regards to depression, but that's some of the things you need to know. It isn't just about this chemical imbalance that some of us might get and some of us might not, and might be more genetics or, might not. There's a bit more to it than that. It's about the way we're thinking about things. It's about the way we see the world. And there's some simple tools that we can use to change that. Does that mean that you'll never feel down at all? No, that can be a feedback mechanism. I feel down as well from time to time. That can be okay, but we can use these tools to balance everything out. So if you want more help, if you've been feeling down and you want a bit of guidance on that, then give me a shout. There'll be some details in the text below, and maybe we can have a chat, and maybe I can show you some of those tools so that you can make some progress straight away. My name's James Dan from Anthem. You have a great day, and we'll speak soon. Thanks for watching this video. Now, if you enjoyed it, please make sure you subscribe to this channel and like this video. And also, I'd love to hear your comments down below. Now, if you'd like any help with what we've discussed in this video or any other related topic, then feel free to get in contact with me using the details on the screen. And here's another video that you might like to watch now. And until next time, unleash your inner anthem.